Hey guys, Brie Marie D for Boston Banner Bound and on Celtics Corner, and I want to just recap what we just saw. Celtics just had their last regular season home game, and let me just tell you, a lot has been going on with me personally and with the team. So I'm going to just go back a little bit in time, catch you up on where I left off, and we'll do that real quick, and then we'll talk about yesterday. So Celtics were on a traveling back-to-back when I left you. They were going to Toronto after just beating the Minnesota Timberwolves at home. They ended up losing this game by 3, but it was hospital Celtics. We were resting the Jays. Didn't really expect them to win that game in Toronto with all these people out, but they did really well. Only lost 115 to 112, so that was pretty good. Didn't expect them to hold their own so well as the hospital Celtics. And you know what? It was not a bad game. I'm very impressed with what I saw, even though they got the L. Very impressed with what I saw. But with that loss, they dropped to the 4 seed. But as you know, even if the Celtics aren't playing a game, their seedings will change with the wind. And literally, with anybody losing or winning, the Celtics will either drop or rise in the standings. So not even 24 hours later after they dropped to the 4 seed, they actually went back up to the 3 seed because the Sixers lost. And so they took on the Heat at home. They actually lost this game by 8 points, 106-98. Celtics are now on a 2-game losing streak. So obviously, once we're getting closer down the stretch to the playoffs, we don't want to go on a losing streak, or do we? What seeding do we actually want? I'm going to touch on that later, but let me just show you how that game ended up. Tatum and Brown were listed as probable, but they played. Only person out in this game was Rob Will. Heat didn't have anybody recordable listed as out for their game, so they were full strength. Notes that I made on this game. So Tatum got a technical foul. So that's his 13th of the season. And the reason why that's important to note is that a player that has 16 technical fouls, after that, they get a 1-game suspension. So we do not want to see Tatum in technical foul trouble. That would not be great down the stretch. I know that it might reset a little bit for playoffs, but I believe, you know, if you have that type of demeanor and you're getting technical fouls, that might cost you in the playoffs as well. So trying to simmer that down. I love the passion, but I don't need you getting any game suspensions so close to the end of the year, my friend. And then another funny part, this game was very high emotions and high energy. Marcus Smart got ejected, but the best part about this ejection was it was so uncalled for. He should not have gotten ejected, but he kind of knew it. So he took his sweet ass time, shaking hands with everybody, dapping everybody up, did not have any rush whatsoever to leave the court or be ejected from the game. And I just found that really funny. I know, okay, we don't want players getting ejected from games, obviously. But Marcus Smart's just so funny. And, I was just am I mad at him? Not really, because that was, the most amazing exit to a game I've ever seen in my life. So, anyways, they lost that game. But because of the wins that they have and where they are in the standings, they actually ended up clinching the playoff spot even with the loss. The Celtics have now made the playoffs every year since the 2014-2015 series, and that's the longest active playoff streak in the NBA. Awesome. So then we go to the Pacers, and I'm actually at this game, and me just being me, I'm I document everything. I like to, have my phone out. I like to tweet and interact with fans, other fans, and just kind of post up what I'm doing. So I went to the game, and I looked up at the banners, and this was the first time I've been back since the KG retirement ceremony, I believe. And I look up at the rafters and I was like, wow, look at number 5 right next to number 34. Beautiful. I take a picture. I tag KG in it. And KG and I are best friends now. I don't know if you guys know, but this is the 3rd time that this dude right here has reposted my posts on Instagram. And it's the real account, guys. It's verified. So we're best friends, just I'm just telling you now. No, we're not, but I wish we were. He reposted that and my day was already made. Like I was already on cloud nine, like at the game with my friend, watching this game, watching the Celtics. And then I'm like, Deuce, obviously gotta have Deuce watch. There literally should be a camera always on Deuce, like no matter what, because anything this kid does is literally legendary and literal gold. So I'm sitting there and it's second half at this point and the Celtics are scoring on my end where I'm sitting and I'm like, awesome. I want to catch like a dope dunk or an alley-oop or a nice block or something. Like I wanted to catch something on film up close. And of course, I'm like literally in mid-sentence telling my friend, oh, I want to catch something cool on film. And Tatum does the dunk on that dude's head. I don't even know because he's not even relevant. I don't even know who the Pacers even have. No offense. And so Tatum just like dunks it on his head, right? And I'm like, oh shit, I missed it. But for some reason, something told me, pull out your phone and record Tatum's reaction. So like, I'm literally like 2 seconds, I missed the dunk by like legitimately seconds. I take out my phone, I start recording and I'm like watching Tatum like walk because they obviously called a timeout because the dunk was so monstrous that he killed a man and they have to take his body off the floor. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Like I want to see like Tatum hyped up. Like I want to get this like reaction on film. But little did I know I was catching lightning in the bottle. I pan over to Deuce, and Deuce is like the little genius that he is with Tatum's mom. They're both going like this, and it's hilarious. Like the best thing I've ever captured on my phone of all time. I had everyone from ESPN, Sports Center, The Score, Overtime, House of Highlights, Bleacher Report, asking if they could repost this awesome video that I miraculously captured on film. And obviously, it was just greatness. Anything Deuce does is just legendary. He is a little goat. Literally, like, frame it, hang it, look at it for years to come. It was the funniest video, the best video. Sheer luck. So, like, I'm not gonna say, oh, you know, I'm so great, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was really humbling. It was awesome to see the response, the support, the reaction. It was so cool to be able to capture that moment. Someone actually sent that video directly to JT so that he could have it, which I definitely wanted. I want him to have those moments that like he can share with his son and his mom and those like wholesome family moments. Like imagine being a 4-year-old and sitting courtside every single game to watch your dad just tool on people and just be a legend. Like you're watching history right there. It was the craziest 24 hours of my life. I'm like still not really over it. Like pinch me, was that real? I don't know. It's hard to live up to that standard now. Like I feel like anything I post, people are going to be like, okay, like this is the expectation. But you know what? I'm going to post what I want to post, talk how I want to talk. You know me, you know the vibes already. Like I'm not going to change for anybody. I'm going to keep doing me, doing my broadcasts the way that I do them, doing my Twitter and Instagram and Facebook the way that I do it. If you like it, great. Thank you for the support. If you don't like it, hopefully maybe, you know, I'll grow on you. I don't know. But I'm not going to change for anyone. I'm going to keep doing me in the most authentic way that I can. So recapping that game, they won 128-123. This was kind of like a gimme game or a trap game, to be honest with you, because the Pacers were the 13th seed. They were eliminated from playoffs. They're on a 5-game losing streak. And we were full strength besides Rob Will. So you could have easily fell into the trap. They did not. They ended up, it was honestly the Pacers weren't going away, just like the Pistons. Like they were just hanging on there. Like, it was so close. It was 126-123 with 25 seconds left in the game. Like, it was tooth and nail to get that win. But they won 128-123 in the Garden. And then the game that we are all waiting to talk about, the 144-102 blowout, 42-point blowout against the Wizards to end the last regular season home game on the highest of high notes. It was Fan Appreciation Day. It was just the most fitting way to end this regular season home game series from a shitty start to what an amazing turnaround. Like, it was literally, like I said, these are the Celtics that the diehards deserve. And I am so proud of them. I'm so impressed. I'm so glad I was last minute, got to go to the game. So I bumped into a cousin of mine and he knew somebody that works for the Celtics. And we got to go on the court at the end of the game and I got to like just witness greatness. I got to see Cedric Maxwell. I obviously said hi to Scal, who I know from obviously working for NBC Sports. I got to look at the logo up close, respect the logo, protect the parquet. It was just such a awesome couple of days. And I'm honestly, on cloud nine. As a fan, being a fan for this long and doing, these videos for this long, and I've been, dedicated and passionate about this team for a very long time. And I'm really just very fortunate and lucky to be as close to the action as I can be. And very grateful for all the opportunities that I've had and all the people that I've met and all the things that I've gotten to do. I know a lot of people haven't even been in the Garden or have been able to watch one game live. So I am very aware of how lucky and grateful getting choked up that I am to be able to do all these things. So let's recap the last game, which was literally, I don't even know what day it is. I think it was yesterday. Today's Monday, right? So yeah, the game yesterday, it was a 1:00 game. The Celtics were 48-30 going into this game. They were listed as the 3rd seed. Again, could have been a little bit of a trap game. The Wizards were 34-43. They were on a 2-game win streak though, but they are the 11th seed and they were already eliminated from playoff contention. Jason Tatum was listed as probable, but he did play. And then Nick Stauskas and Rob Will were the only 2 out for the Celtics. Wizards injury report, Kuzma and Carey Jr. were listed as out. Brown, right off the gate, coming out hot, 13 points in the first quarter. Celtics lead 70-59, 11-point lead at the half. Only 2 people that were really doing anything for the Wizards were Contavious Caldwell-Pope and Porzingis, the unicorn Singus. So 43-point blowout, 8 minutes left in the game. B squad enters early. Tatum ended the game with 22. Brown ended the game with 32. Now this is the 9th straight game that both Jaylen and Brown had 20-plus points. It's the 9th straight game Jaylen Brown has 25-plus points. Love those stats, love those numbers, love that consistency, guys. Remember how I used to say consistently inconsistent? Well, now they're consistently consistent and just at the right time, right? We want them to get on a roll, stay rolling for the post game. And for the postseason. I get so worked up. Sometimes I fumble over my words. Like, it's hard to do this live or do it in a one take and not edit. And, it's hard to contain my emotions and my passion and my composure when I'm doing this because, like, I live for this. I'm constantly, checking in on my team, watching my team, keeping track, writing pages of notes to try and get this type of video good for you guys, entertaining for you guys, informational for you guys. I obviously mix it in with all the jobs that I have, so hopefully you guys appreciate it, appreciate the rawness, the realness, the authenticity of it, of me, of all this shit. Not censored, don't hold back. Anyways, Horford was 10-8. Now, what I really wanted to note here was the bench work. They got it in. Pritchard, 14 points. Grant, 16 points. Derek White, 17 points. And Nesmith, 11 points. Can you say no mercy? Nesmith was firing off threes at the end of the game. Up 40, didn't give a fuck. It was hilarious. However, with that, the franchise record of 15 threes from the bench was made that day. Let's go, bench. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Imagine that your B squad is just almost just as not bad. Like I was not like, oh, it's garbage minutes. I'm like, yo, 8 minutes left, bro. Do some work. It was good. It wasn't like it was typical garbage minutes like fucking Hernan Gomez and dumb shit. Like, we had actually good players that deserved minutes, getting minutes, and I'm very impressed, very happy. They did really well. And to be able to give your starters 8 minutes of rest at the end of the game, that's beautiful. If we can have them not be overexerted going into the playoff run, I'm all here for that. So, very impressed. Now with this win, right, Boston can fall no further than the 6th seed in the East. And that does sound kind of far, right? Because now they're the 2 seed. Can they drop all the way to the 6th? Well, the only reason why I say that is because the top 8, they're like within a game and a half, 2 games, 2.5 games from each other. And there's 3 games left in the regular season. So if the Celtics lose all 3, And if the other teams win all 3 or 4, it depends on like how many more games each other team has. Like some teams have 4 games left, some teams have 3 games left, just depending on how their schedule was made. So we obviously don't want them to drop to the 6. But to clinch no worse than the 4th seed, which would mean home court advantage in the first round of playoffs, which is definitely what we want, the Boston Celtics need 1 more win out of the 3 that they have, or 1 more loss by the Chicago Bulls or the Toronto Raptors. So again, this is where we're standings watch on high alert. We are making sure we are looking at everybody, not just what the Celtics are doing, but we're making sure we're looking at what everybody in the Eastern Conference that's in playoff contention is doing every single day up until the last game of the regular season. Now, they have a little bit of a break. They don't go to Chicago until Wednesday. So we're on today is Monday now. So they have till Wednesday. They're playing at 8 o'clock against the Bulls. We're actually going to have a pregame show on Celtics Corner live. You guys can tune in, talk to us, chop it up, listen to us. We're going to talk about that. Then they take on the Milwaukee Bucks the next day. So they're on a traveling back-to-back. So will we see the Jays play? Will they be limited in the Bulls run? We got to figure that out. And then the last game that they play is on Sunday, April 10th at 7 o'clock, taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. So not an easy last 3 games to end your regular season on. Can we maybe steal one on the road? I'm guessing the Bulls is the only game that I'm like, yes, that's the game we're going to win for sure, hands down. However, Celtics have been pleasantly surprising me these days. So can they win all 3? I have no idea. Can they win 1? I'm hoping so. But like I said, even if they don't win any of these games, Bulls losing or Toronto losing at least 1 more game will secure a home court advantage first round spot for the Celtics. So that's huge. I'm so impressed with us. I'm so just like, what a whirlwind of a season, guys. Like, I'm so happy I'm not on here depressed and crying and pissed anymore. I know a lot of people like Mad Bree, but I don't like Mad Bree because that means my team is losing. I am so beyond stoked. Like, Happy Bree is definitely better than Mad Bree. So, like, it has been an honor to be at all these games and to be able to talk to you guys about it. I'm so impressed with them. The sky's the limit. Tatum and Brown are the best duo ever. People were crazy to think that to split them up. Like, I know we live in a day and age of instant, everything instant. I think that I was patient enough to be like, okay, we're halfway through the season. What the fuck is going on? I didn't hit the panic button game 2 of the season, but the way that we turned this whole season around was just epic, monumental. I am so impressed. Give them their flowers. Give them their respect. Does it mean nothing if they don't make it deep in the playoffs? No, it means something. I'm still impressed. But do I want them to go far in playoffs? Absolutely, I do. My minimum for them would be second round. My maximum for them would be Eastern Conference Finals. Let's see if we're right. Let's see if they can exceed our expectations. This has been Brie Marie D for Boston Banner Bound and Celtics Corner. Tune in on Celtics Corner on YouTube Wednesday, 7 o'clock, live pregame show. We're going to chop it up, talk about it. We'll see where they are in the standings at that point. I can't even wait. I am so excited. Go Celtics. Thank you guys so much. I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you.